The woman left her 2 kids in the hospital. She boarded a train alone, ready to start a new life. On the train, she tossed her husband's ancestral jade bracelet out the window. All of this came from her past life experience. Back then she gave up her chance to be a news anchor for her husband, devoted herself to raising the kids and caring for his parents. When her husband was transferred to an island, he took the army doctor Annie with him, and only left her one sentence: take care of the family. From then on she woke before dawn every day, cooking, making medicine, sending the kids to school, then working in a textile factory to earn extra money. At night she corrected homework and took care of his parents. She lived like this for 10 years. The kids grew up. Her husband came back. That's when she found out he had been with Annie all along. Even the kids chose Annie without hesitation. Her husband said there was no love and no common language between them, and that Annie had waited for him so many years. She deserved a title. The kids said Annie was talented and elegant, while their mother was just a woman who never even finished elementary school, unworthy of a deputy commander's wife. No one knew she had studied all the way through high school on her own, and even became the nation's first accepted news anchor. But for her family she gave it all up. In the end, overwork made her sick with tuberculosis. Even as she begged, her husband still chose to leave. She died alone in illness. Before her last breath she swore, if there was another life, she would live for herself. Heaven gave her a second chance. When she opened her eyes again, she was back on the day she had refused the TV station offer. This time she took back her certificate without hesitation, and agreed on the spot to report to the North City TV station in 15 days. When she returned home, Annie splashed her with a basin of cold water. The kids only rushed to check Annie's hand, not caring at all about their mother soaked to the skin. They even said they wished Annie could be their mom. The woman was devastated, saying they could all belong to Annie. Her husband rushed to Annie's side, asking if she was alright. Annie lied that it was the woman who threw a tantrum and didn't want the kids. In the past, just one look from her husband would make her apologize, but this time she didn't back down. Her husband noticed her change, and simply gave the osmanthus cake he brought to Annie instead, then rushed out just because Annie casually mentioned something. All these years of marriage, she had only ever received a $2 bracelet from him, except when she got pregnant. She had never even held his hand. She was ready to leave, but Annie insisted on dragging her along to dinner. At the restaurant, Annie ordered only spicy dishes, ignoring the fact that her husband and kids couldn't eat spicy food. The woman had always cooked carefully for their health, yet was never once thanked. Now, even though they couldn't handle spicy food, they ate happily. During the meal, a waiter spilled hot soup. The woman's whole arm was burned, while Annie only got a few drops. But her husband rushed Annie to the hospital, only noticing the woman as an afterthought. On the way they got into a car accident. The woman's forehead was cut open, but Annie and the kids were well protected. When they got out of the car, her husband carried Annie onto the stretcher, and anxiously called the doctor to check her first. The doctor pointed out his wife was actually more seriously hurt, but he said coldly she wouldn't die, and demanded Annie be treated first. That coldness cut off the last bit of hope in her heart. She went home to pack her things, ready to leave.